with Mega World. If you guys haven't been part of the history of Mega World, it's been a long, long road. But anyways, so I'm excited today to show you guys a little bit. What am I doing? My daily activities, and kind of showcase some of what I have been doing myself. So, anyways, I wanted to go through what's going on and just go through a couple things before I just start doing my daily activities. I kind of wanted to record that. So I'm gonna go check out what's going on with Mega World. So definitely check out Mega World if you guys haven't followed them. There's Mega World and then there's Mega Cryptopolis. Mega World is the Web3 city builder. What I call it is a virtual city builder, right? Because Web3 is, it's what's happening now, but like obviously the technology advances and we need to abstract the terminology to play games like this because basically it's a 24/7 game that allows you to just jump in and build a virtual city. So that's the biggest aspect of the game, is that you're able to just kind of casually play the game, or you can intensely build the city out. So recently there's an update, this 11 hours ago. Please be informed that the Legacy Mega Cryptopolis Twitter account branding was updated to fit the new vision and still remains the official source for everything Mega World. So just as a warning, or update, I guess, in this sense, is that the original Mega Cryptopolis is part of the city builder, but it is the strategy aspect. So if you actually go into the Mega Cryptopolis, strategy is what it says, but it's still part of the game. Mega World itself is, I would say it's just the conglomerate of all the projects together, right? Because Mega 3D, there was Mega Cryptopolis before that, Mega Cryptopolis 3D. So basically, they changed how the strategy is. So strategy would be kind of more of like the Sim City, right? The builder itself would be more like Sims. So when you go on the tour, that's your avatar. You can do like deliveries. You can do these missions to earn yourself these tokens. Abstract all the token aspects. Basically, it's resources. Like there's different resources. The token itself is a digital token, digital asset. You could say, if you're playing any game, there's always some type of digital asset, right? And then there's like resources and whatnot. So all those have a economic, value to it. So there's an incentive, right? But it's a trickle down economy with taxes. If you guys haven't checked it out, so it's very similar to SimCity. You can kind of actually take a lot of it from SimCity. Mega Cryptopolis or Megalopolis actually is like the extent of SimCity, right? That's like the biggest city you can build. So Megalopolis, take those words, Mega Cryptopolis, okay, Cryptopolis, all right, well, crypto, you can abstract that part. So the Mega World as a brand, to me, is a better forward-facing UI UX experience compared to just being a Web3 specific game. So I think some of that terminology needs to be taken out. But that's just my personal decision here and personal thought. So today we're going to be focusing on gathering materials and seeing how things are going. In my space, I am not an active district owner. I own District 111 and 112. If you guys don't know what districts are, basically it's like a section of the map that is, specific to that region, right? And each region or district has a certain land mass that is specific to that region. So if there's like, say, one district has 8,000 plots. Each one of these blocks right here, this is a plot, right? Another district next to it, adjacent to it, will have 1,000 plots, right? So it's slightly bigger. And then when it comes to governance, which is like, controlling what taxes are specific to each, building type or production, or, just other variables I can show you here in my assets. So under here, you can see districts. These are my two districts I have control of. These are ones I personally purchased a while ago, 2019. So I've been district owner for 4 years, actually over 4 years. It's coming up on 5 years. So it's a long-term game. You know, it's a virtual city builder on top of like microeconomy. So you can see here, this is the district controlling the budgets, how our funding is distributed. So there's a funding, you know, the distribution of funding goes to municipal buildings as well as office buildings. Um, so it's very useful to kind of distribute it, incentivizes those wanting to build in my city. And then initial land plot price. So this is like first time purchases for the land. Obviously, when you purchase the land, it's owned by someone. At that point, it has to be sold, you know, P2P, so to other players. There is no, you know, initial taxing on my end on that. So I don't know if that's something in the future they'll introduce, like when land is sold in your city, you receive a tax. I kind of feel like it is, but you know, this is debatable, being that I am a district owner, so I don't want it to be too conflicting in that sense. So you can see here, there's production tax, construction tax. I'll go through that another time. So I'm just kind of going a little like intro. Obviously, I've made videos on Mega World and Mega Cryptopolis before, but I feel like maybe kind of reintroducing this again because it's been a long time since anyone's made like a video that's like, what is Mega Cryptopolis? So this is just a loose one. I want to actually just do my daily activities, but at some point I'll make a video and through a series of videos like I was trying to do before. But the game has kind of changes to the point where it was going to be built, if that was said correctly. Let's rephrase that. Basically, the roadmap has been, you know, accomplished. A lot of these roadmap items that have been, you know, suggested in years before, such as like custom buildings and these like units and like smaller items and so those things were all kind of like overall eventually updated. So that's the thing, is now it's been updated. The previous videos I made to educate the community, those are a bit old, and plus I didn't fully, you know, release all of them, so that was on my part. But I feel like we've come a long way since then. So I think 2021 was kind of like the idea for me. You can see here MCP 3D, Mega World. So this is kind of the transformation to the multiverse. Unlocking perks of Mega, and then like Mega World demo, and public transportation. So we've come a long way. And then 2020 was the release of Tron. This year was the release of BNB. Does that mention it here? Where does it say that? I don't see where it mentions BNB. Is that 2022? It might have been 20. Okay, exactly. So at the end of 2022, we introduced the BNB chain. So that's 3 chains. And what these 3 chains are doing are kind of like the back end. So I'm not trying to be like super, okay, this is crypto or blockchain or whatever. It's more of just like the infrastructure that facilitates like all the digital transactions, you know, all the transactions on that specific city. So you don't necessarily need to know what the chain is, because that's kind of a long-term approach, is to abstract what a chain is. Because for those who are interested in that technology, such as myself, understand its use case, right? But as an average retail consumer, you know, or player or user of this technology, they don't necessarily need to know how it works, right? So it's like you have a digital token, there's resources, the avatars are your specific characters. That's all you really need to know. You don't need to know what kind of format these tokens or avatars are. You can transact with them in other cities. It requires a token. There's a monetary value to it, but that's like a whole nother aspect. The monetary value is usually in the game, right? So everything is kind of like in the game, and then you have a choice to go outside of the game, right? And then take those tokens they've earned and make, you know, a you know, incentive or a financial gain from doing so. So that's kind of the thing here, is that we're building a game that's mostly focused on, I mean, I'm not building a game, but they're building a game. I really enjoy the game. The game is building kind of an all-inclusive, you know, not exclusive, but all-inclusive. So I think that's important in comparison to being like exclusive. This is only a blockchain game. So I mean, right now it's Web3 City Builder. I think that's kind of cutting ourselves short. I feel like it's a virtual city builder simulation. This is important because that way we reach different, demographics. So I think that's kind of the future sense here. So Mint units is the latest update. So basically, just taking smaller forms, microeconomy, and using it on another layer of a chain, which is not necessarily needed to know, but basically it's just faster transactions. That's essentially what's happening. So yeah, we'll go into the game right now. I'm just gonna start collecting my stuff, and then yeah, we'll just go through there. You can see what I'm doing, and then I'll just pop up here every once in a while. To give some context to what I'm doing, so basically I'm collecting resources from these buildings, and I'll just kind of give you a little bit of insight what that means. So just on like forward facing, what this is. Basically, this is a energy building. This energy building produces power, um, and it requires a resource spot. So a resource spot is like a special land, basically. Um, and any lands that are like next to like the main like special spot, like the general rule of thumb is that most of the lands near it are going to be resource rich lands, right? So only to a certain parameter that these will exist. So having one of these lands is kind of important, right? Because you need power and water. Those are kind of the basic necessities in the game. So having those resources are very important. So with the resource land, you can build, as long as there's one resource on it, you can build an energy plant or a water plant. So I'll show you next to this here. So the energy, this is an energy building. So they're both energy buildings, right? But like the second tier there is um, what type of energy building. So this is a power plant. So if you could think about how SimCity is, it's kind of similar, right? There's like coal plants or solar, you know. So right now it's just kind of the basic ideas, right? Power plant, okay, power. All right. So with the power plant, you can see here, this is kind of like my building stamina of like the building, like over time, it starts becoming deteriorated. You have to do some upkeep on the buildings and maintain it. And at 100% capacity of its maintenance, it produces, as high amount of energy, according to my, attributes of my citizens together. These citizens are really, really bad. So they don't do that well. So here you put 4 out of 4, but you can put a minimum of 2 of these citizens in here. Each of these citizens have certain attributes, some specific to this building, some specific to other buildings, right? So the E on the bottom, it's endurance, that's specific to this building. I only need 2 to actually run the building, but without having at least 2, the building wouldn't be operational. So that's kind of where it's at. And then here's the production. So I want to click collect, but if I want to click details right here, it's going to show me like all the information I really need to know when it comes to collecting, I guess. It doesn't show how much power. Let me go back. Yeah, so it showed like a range of what it was going to pay out. So I can always, I think there's like a little glitch going on here. But these are like the taxes. So taxes are kind of based on the districts, right? So like I mentioned, like the government and the taxing, it's really based on the district owner. So they're like the governor, of that specific region. So whatever the taxes are there, there's some minimum taxes that obviously go with it. but some of them can be raised depending on the district. Okay, I had a cough there for a second. Let me clear my throat. I clear my throat a lot. But anyways, so the fees is 0.21. So there's the fees, and then that's the building specifically. So there's a fee system. So there's like a district fund and the global fund. So it's kind of a trickle down economy in that sense. And then it shows you the total. So in this case, I'm going to collect. This is going to be Ethereum, so it might be a little on the slower side today. Maybe. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Well, it could be. It's a little bit of my screen capturing. It seems like a little slow. Okay, let me turn down the textures here and the traffic. So my thing is my computer's really slow. I mean, in comparison to like my desktop, that's really fast. So bear with me on the slowness. Is not actually the game itself. So we'll see what happens. If I am not doing anything in the Ethereum side, I was actually working on the Tron side. So, but anyways, just to let you guys know, okay, so Tron side, I mentioned this too. So the different cities are different blockchains. So I mentioned this before. And then also abstracted from that, like there's this world kind of like access. So it's like if you had, say, your email address, right? So your email address is kind of attaches all these cities together. So you don't technically need to have like a what we call a Web3 wallet, like a digital wallet, which is if you're more on that side of like blockchain inclined, per se, Web3 inclined, then you would have that knowledge to just do it yourself. But in this case, these different chains are different cities. You don't need to know about the chains themselves, but switching in between all three of them. Here I'm going to go switch to Tron. Let's go to Tron. And I guess a little bit on the back end, I have access to my Tron wallet. So it just automatically switches it over, okay? So if you start out here, the city, you can see here, this is actually my building. So I just want to point it out, I guess, just to show you guys. So similar, like mentioning, so you can see here, this is the points you have. So these are like, you earn these points based on location and your influence. So depending on certain attributes, like if you attach things to the building, say, you attach these appliances or cars. Well, the cars are helps for the stamina for the people. So that's a whole other thing. Is there's a car system too. I'll touch on that later. So with this is actually more of like a clear view. So this is an office space. So an office block or an office in general. They are in the specific district or region, like I mentioned, that like it accumulates that trickle down economy. So like as the district becomes more enriched by those who build in the city, I receive a portion of that every day. So based on your influence in that city, in that general area, you have a better chance of accumulating more of the pie. So that's distributed every day. So there's like a certain distribution, say 45. I get that. It's trickled down into my building. And then you can see here, here's the details of this specific building. When's the last time it accumulated? It's 55 days ago, almost 2 months. And then it shows here the total accumulation of 4 buildings in 55 days. So it shows you like as all of my buildings, this is not the only one, the office building, but in different districts, it accumulates different amounts based on my influence points and all these other variables. You can see how much was distributed. I received, say 30% of that. Yeah, I'd say a little bit more than 30%. So that's not horrible, but that's not the best, right? So it is what it is. But I like it, I like having these buildings. So it's a long-term play. So if I decide to at a certain time, I can accumulate them. It's better if I wait longer. There's a better aspect to it. So yeah, so but yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit what's going on. I'm gonna go with just accumulating my stuff, and then I will talk to you guys here in a little bit. Music's getting a little sleepy. I'm gonna switch up the music real quick. Hey, whoever's watching, checking out my videos, appreciate DeFi guys stopping by. Um, yeah, so if you guys don't know what I'm doing, I'm just collecting. Just to reiterate, I'm just going through my daily activities. A lot of these buildings require my daily activities, But I've been slacking for years, actually, for multiple years on this game. But it's a long-term play, so obviously it's a different market, different conditions. I got a little busy in the market, different projects working with and everything. So, anyways, so I'm going to be mostly focusing on just having this show what I'm doing, my daily activities, and then at the end, I'll do some other stuff just to like tell you guys what's going on. So, anyways, let me just put this back on here, and I'll just go back to collecting.
You see, I've been explaining to people for years and years how my mother and father, they used to travel an awful lot, you know. So, and the truth of my birthplace was never actually out because I was born at sea, you understand? You know, on a boat. You see, I practically started out with music. Like, you know, I started on the piano when I was only 5, 6 years old, that's all. And then I was always interested in music. And then I stayed around it. All my friends, I used to find a lot of different friends. They all was playing too, you know what I mean? And that's where they used to have the jazz bands playing all night and all that, you know? Because I didn't get a chance to hear much of that, but I used to hear a lot of records. That's where they used to have the jazz bands playing all night and all that, you know? Because I didn't get a chance to hear much of that, but I used to hear a lot of records. There were several different kinds, like you could hear there was a lot of people that could execute well and play over the instruments and tongue the instruments, and as a matter of fact, play them quite right, you know. And there were a lot of people that used to make a lot of noises. Funnier noise you could make, the better it was, you know. I don't think they didn't play jazz like I did. written that way, but I knew I was going to play the horn because I was already playing it. But I never thought about it commercially, really. Actually, I had played already commercially by the time I was 12. Well, I played through like schools. When I was going out to school, they'd have dances and things like that. I played all those. All the other kids dancing. They were big kids way up from high school or out of high school or getting ready to go to college or something. You know what I mean? And they were the ones doing the dancing, but I was playing.
And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. The generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.
So I wanted to jump in here and talk about kind of the reports, in the background. So reports are basically just showing you like what's going on with my accounts, and if there's any like district transactions or something, like people doing stuff in my city. I'll show you that on the Ethereum side. So right now on the Trump side, you can see here I produce some citizens, so I can go here and check out like the stats and everything. Because depending on the building, so there's some pretty good stats for energy buildings. So endurance, it's good to see 7. So I haven't bred any of my super citizens. So super citizens are basically just like the step up version of these citizens. But I haven't really done anything with them, so I don't want to breed them. I think it's too early for me to want to breed them, because then I don't know like the gauge of how hotels will work. Hotels eventually will come out, so it's like being able to restore your citizens. So I don't know, it's just kind of backwards. Like a hotel is kind of where you make babies, I think, I mean, you make babies at a house, but in this game, like a hotel is revitalize your citizens. You start out like a citizen with 55. That means like you can produce 55 different, citizens below you. But like every time you produce one citizen, your baby, which is a grown adult, by the time you can basically put it to work. It's like evolution land. But basically then it allows you to, it takes one of the status away. So if it was like the ones I'm showing you guys, like 55 or it's 45, so these are B citizens, it would be 44. So and then it takes like an hour or 2 days or whatever time frame it takes, less than based on like their ability to breed all the time and the building itself. So it's like there's just a lot of variables in that aspect. So I wanted to throw that in here. So you saw me do a lot of stamina restoring. So I did a lot of restoring of my stamina on my citizens. So yeah, let me get back here. So I did that to quite a bit of citizens, depending on the building. So if I own the commercial building, I get a kickback, right? So I get a kickback, it's like 50%. That goes back to me. Well, not necessarily 50%, because you can see here it's like 2.3, so not quite 50%, but like there's a percentage of it goes back to me. So not only if I own the building, but I'm a district owner, there's quite a bit that goes back to me. So that's the beauty of having these commercial buildings, the stamina for your specific citizens, but as well as others. So I mostly just focus on mine. You can take a career path in the commercial buildings and like be the best building. So that's an option, but it's not exactly where I'm going right now. So you can see I collected a bunch of stuff. I repaired one of my biggest power plants. So power plant is level 6. I don't have a 7 yet. I do have the infrastructure for at least 1 7. So eventually, so I have 7 residential building, office building, all that. Like there's places where I'm going to be building out infrastructure, but it's going to cost me like, I don't know, $20,000 or something. I don't know. It's going to cost a lot. So it's just kind of a long-term play. I could have planned it out a little bit better, but I still have a ton of super citizens. So that is really good that my super citizens are actually still above the value I paid for them. So I think I'm comfortable with that. And I received a lot of bonuses when buying these citizen or packs. So I bought the packs. The packs come with like all these resources and citizens, but these super citizens were specific to these packs. So I was like, I had to get it. But anyways, I just wanted to touch a little bit on this. Then I'm going to go on the Ethereum side and I'm going to collect on there, and then I'll jump back on. So
Full force.
Something about you feels so different. Yeah, you mess me up inside. It's like your energy was kissing my soul back to life, was living. Now it feels like every part of me is died. Yeah, you're gone without a trace. You left me where no one can find me. There's no sign of life out here. I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't find my way out. Lost all dimension and time. Looking at what's in my mind. And this goes down.
I'm running into some hurdles with the Ethereum blockchain. Obviously, it's not providing me with the best response to things right now. So I'm like backing up some of my transactions, which is kind of annoying. But that's just part of Ethereum. Can't blame the game for that reason. But I'm gonna process all these. There's 5 requests. There's only 2 that actually meant something. But yeah, I wanted to kind of wrap this up. I've just been collecting all my stuff. I still need to collect a bunch of stuff, but just kind of showing you guys like what's going on, like the reports. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of dialogue for this video, but mostly at the beginning. I feel like mostly just trying to focus on like what I'm doing more so than why I'm doing it, I guess. But there's gonna be a video I want to create, like kind of a series going forward, more so focusing on like the educational aspect, like what is what and how do you get into it, like kind of like the blockchain aspect, but then also abstracting all that to like kind of the front facing, UI UX experience, more of like traditional gaming space, just kind of click in there, put in your email, stuff like that. So I want to make it easier for educational purposes and like being able to reach those who are not like a blockchain aficionado, like all of us, like super interested and involved in the blockchain space. So yeah, no, yeah, I was just wrapping it up. It was just pretty much me just clicking on stuff the whole time, so I didn't really have a lot of dialogue. But it's cool that you're here, Megan. If you guys don't know her, she's my colleague multiple times over. Friend of the space, friend. I hope one day we meet. I'm gonna be in Canada, I'm sure. Yeah, these days I'm actually started to work with a different project. No, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, no, I've been working on the back end on some projects, but basically we'll be working together. So pretty much, not directly with a star, but like with a star ish. So you'll see me here. I'm gonna make a proper announcement pretty soon, but getting all the checks and balances and cross my T's and all that, dot my I's, doing all that, and then I'll make a proper announcement to the public. But yeah, pretty much just doing my thing, man. Just needing time, a star. I love, you guys work really hard, and maybe it was just not my speed. I definitely, not necessarily just a star, just like in the space. Like I've been doing the same thing for about 2-3 years, so it's kind of nice to just kind of take a break for a little bit. But yeah, now I'm gonna be coming back. You'll see my face. I'll be making videos, different content. Obviously, not just this content. This is for fun, so I'll be making some proper content, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, I've been getting back into my blockchain games and all that. Just kind of going full circle. So it's good to be able to actually to check out all the games I've been playing, been a part of for years, and like, with working, it really affected my ability to access these things. So at least there was that part of me not having the time to do it, but now I do, and so now I'm kind of coming back to it. So, but yeah, I want to wrap this up. Like I was saying, I want to make some more educational videos around Mega World, because I think it's important, because the game is pretty cool when it comes to like, it's really cool. I love it. It's like SimCity, like SimCity is my game. Like if there's 3 games I could say off the top of my head that I would always play, 1 is Age of Empires, hands down. 2, Mega World, SimCity, something similar like that kind of video, a city builder. There's no proper city builder, so this is it pretty much. Outside of SimCity, but this is more of like a economical reason. There's an incentive. And then the third one, I don't know, man. I don't know what my third option would be, because I don't really play any other games. Farsight, I want to say, because obviously I invested quite a bit into that, but if I'm gonna be real, I don't really play it. So but that's just how it goes. Long-term plays, that's how the space is. If you're into blockchain games or whatnot, Web3, it's kind of changed the landscape of what a blockchain game is. So like I said, like we need to abstract the gaming aspect to blockchain games and make it more of like a, you know, a proper game without all like the innuendos and language that comes with the space. So we want to have all that technology in the background, fantastic. But like when it comes to reality, no one really needs to know that. Like all the people that's building it, yeah, we're all building this stuff, the infrastructure, but in the end, the retail, you know, client, customer, user of these products, they don't need to know that. So, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed my video. Awesome seeing you, Megan. I actually thought about you earlier, which is ironic, and then you showed up. So that's just how it goes. Hope everything is well with you and with the star, and appreciate DeFi guys stopping by and everybody else that was in here watching this video. And I will talk to you guys next time. So have a great